What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you guys are having a great morning so far and a great start to your weekend. There is a lot to talk about, and there's going to be a lot to talk about over the course of the next several days. As it looks like we're going to have a pretty significant and impactful storm system that's going to last all the way from Monday all the way through Friday of this coming week. I'm talking severe weather, a winter storm for many. This could be very impactful for millions of people. So that's what we're going to break down here. We're going to take a look at the latest model guidance from overnight into this morning. And then tonight we'll do a little bit more of an in-depth breakdown. But even this video, we're going to give you a lot of informative information in this. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button. Like the video if you like it. It's going to impact a lot of people. It's going to almost be like a mixture of the system that happened a couple days ago and then in between the system that happened about 2.5 weeks ago. It looks like it's going to impact the same areas, but there's a lot of areas you can see a lot of flooding also. So if you guys have not subscribed, like I said, do so. Hit me up on my social media links over here. It's a great way to stay up to date with the latest and greatest. And if you guys got anything that I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. Gives me an opportunity to pray over them, gives others an opportunity to do so too. So definitely do that. So let's get rocking and rolling here. There is going to be, I want to start off with what's going to happen today because I think it's important to mention. It's going to be impressive. It's going to be crazy. But you folks, really, in fact, let's just go on and look at radar scope right now. There is a snow squall, and associated with the snow squall is an Arctic front, Arctic boundary, so temperatures drop like a rock behind this. This is moving through Buffalo as we speak right now. We'll get into Rochester and then Syracuse, New York. And this is going to continue to move east and then east-southeast, if you will, into New England. This is going to affect areas of New York City into Boston, everywhere in between. And this is going to continue to move this way and even intensify somewhat. So let's take a look at the latest HRRR model and what's going on here. We're getting into around your noon time frame, Eastern Standard Time. Here's this snow squall. It's about to move into Albany, New York. It continues to move in. Out ahead of it, there's going to be a band of light snow, but this is not going to be the main story. But getting into this afternoon, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, here comes this band. Is it really put together as it moves through New York City? We're not quite sure, but I really think that New York City is going to see some kind of squall weather here. But as we're moving forward here, this will move into Worcester, Massachusetts, and then move into the Boston area. Now, how intense is this going to be? Is there going to be some thunder snow action with this? All I can tell you is this is going to have a chance to drop a quick inch or two of snow. And this is going to be convective in nature, meaning it does have the chance to have a little, maybe a thunder, maybe a flash of lightning with it. But this is going to be intense snow, strong winds for about 15 to 30 minutes max. And then it's on out here. It's probably going to coat everything, and then bitterly cold temperatures will follow behind it. So anything that falls will likely not melt. And then you have that lake effect finger bands kind of shooting off the Great Lakes here as that Arctic air moves over the Great Lakes here. But it's going to be impressive. It's going to be impressive seeing any kind of footage out of this region today. So let's go on and start talking about this system that's going to happen this coming work week. So overnight, I haven't mentioned this in the last couple videos, but the severe weather part of this has went up. And basically, this is for Monday. A slight risk for day 3 has been introduced. It's including Little Rock, Shreveport, Louisiana. Not quite into Dallas, but there's a marginal risk too. There's going to be a chance. Same situation. We're not going to know a ton about this until we get into short-range models, which we're still about, I would say, 48 hours before we're in some reliable short-range model guidance here. Maybe Monday morning we'll know a lot more. Well, not Monday morning. I would say tomorrow evening we will really know a heck of a lot more with this system. But right now, we'll just mention there's a slight risk. This is for Monday for a large chunk of Arkansas. And it's just because you have some warm, moist air, a low-level jet, not near as crazy as the one we had a couple days ago. And there's going to be a moist sector up here. There's going to be some factors in place to create severe weather. So we'll dive much more deeper into this when we know a little bit more. So be careful. There's also for Tuesday, there's a 15% risk of severe weather at 25 miles in any given location in this yellow area right here. So you might as well, you can call this a slight risk at day 4 because it will likely get upgraded to that. But this includes Jackson, Mississippi, Memphis, Mississippi, Jackson, Tennessee, and Jackson, Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee, not Mississippi, and not quite Little Rock, but it also includes Shreveport, Louisiana. So there's going to be some severe weather for your Tuesday also. So This is going to be severe weather and winter weather. So let's go on and take a look at the winter weather from the National Weather Service. This is percent chance of a 1/4 inch of liquid equivalent to snow and sleet. This light green is a 10 to 30% chance for your Thursday. So this is including Oklahoma City, almost including Dallas. This is including St. Louis. So think of this as there is a 10 to 30% chance right now for a winter storm in this area. Think of it like that. That's a great way to think of it, in my opinion. Then you have this dark green showing up for Friday, this coming Friday. So this is, about 6 days out. This is including St. Louis, Indianapolis, Columbus, Cleveland, Ohio, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Chicago, Illinois. This is even including Milwaukee. So there is a 30 to 50% chance of a winter storm happening in this area. Just think of it like this. So we go on and move on to, now I don't want to skip the Northeast. Let's go on and look over here. Same situation, Buffalo, Albany, New York. There is even a chance now into Boston. This is showing up for the Northeast. And then we get into our Saturday, and look at this, 50 to 70% chance. I mean, this is a pretty significant chance a week out. Of a week from today of seeing some kind of winter storm for your February 26th time frame in the Northeast, anywhere in the Northeast basically, because it's so far out it's hard to even mention any specifics. Right now for your day 3, and this is for basically your time frame getting into Monday into Tuesday, same area where there's a severe weather risk. There's a marginal risk, which is at least 5% chance of flash flooding occurring in this area. So I really think this is going to uptrend as we're getting, I would say, into our Tuesday and Wednesday. I think the flooding risk is going to be a little bit higher as you move a little bit east and southeast. So there's going to be a flood risk with this too. So let's do what we always do at this range of these storms. Let's compare and contrast model guidance. Let's take a look at the Euro, the GFS, and the Canadian. Then we're going to dive into a more detailed, extensive look at the European model, which I like right now. European moves this cold air south with it. Some light to moderate snow brings down with it as we're getting into our Monday evening. Low pressure develops, therefore the moisture gets more amplified, especially Minneapolis, Wisconsin could have a moderate winter storm, if you will, as we're getting into our Tuesday morning. It just looks as of now to be all rain for places like Chicago. But the frozen precipitation is just north of y'all. In fact, just north of y'all could see some ice. And then Iowa, this looks like to be some sort of impactful winter event here, frozen precipitation-wise. This low pressure moves on through. A lot of frozen precipitation showing up for southeast Canada, maybe a winter storm showing up for you guys. In fact, there probably will be. We're getting into our Wednesday morning now. This Arctic boundary has sagged south. Therefore, the low pressure is going to develop south. Therefore, you have more frozen precipitation showing up south. So we're getting into our Wednesday afternoon of this coming week. You have freezing rain showing up for areas of Oklahoma, Texas. This continues to move through as we're getting into our Thursday morning. We have a lot of frozen precipitation showing up for the Ohio Valley. And then another low pressure develops here. And then even more ice, sleet, snow starts popping off over the south central U.S., very close to Dallas. Almost all model guidance have Dallas right at the border of freezing rain and rain, but that could change. But this looks to be very impactful for the Ohio Valley in areas like Missouri again. And this moves through another way. This could be a 1 to 3 day event for a lot of folks. And then this moves into the Northeast is maybe winter weather changing to just solid rain, but all the specifics are still trying to get worked out here. We take a look at the GFS. It's the latest one. Make sure it's the GFS and not Canadian. It is. So same situation. We're moving through in time. We'll watch the track of this first low pressure along this Arctic boundary. Is it cold enough for frozen precipitation into areas of Chicago? I am struggling with the word precipitation this morning. Maybe I just need to use a new term, but low pressure develops here. You got snow, sleet, freezing rain north of Chicago, but a lot of severe weather potentially showing up for areas of the Mid-South and heavy rain showing up also. This looks to be all rain for most of the Northeast. This moves through Arctic boundary, sags south and southeast, and then we watch for another wave of moisture that shows up of freezing rain and sleet for Arkansas. This kind of develops and then dwindles, if you will. The European likes this first wave, well, I guess you would call it the second or third wave, to be much more amplified off the Euro. On the GFS, it kind of flattens this first wave out, develops the second wave into Thursday evening, and then is an all-out winter storm for areas of Missouri, getting into Illinois, brings snow into Chicago. Then you're getting into your Friday morning, very impactful winter storm for areas of Pennsylvania, getting into the Northeast. But this has the low pressure scooting off the coast right here through the Atlantic off the coast. Therefore, it might keep areas like Boston, New York City, mainly snow or some kind of frozen precipitation here. So there's a lot of scenarios on the table as far as the low pressure track. But what we have a lot of confidence in is that there is going to be a storm system. A Canadian model going through here in time. We'll briefly look at the Canadian model because I just don't take the Canadian model quite as serious, because a lot of times it has a cold bias, but it's been a lot better lately. I will say that. My hat goes off to the Canadian model. It's been a lot more accurate as of late. The Canadian model is actually much more warm with this first system, as it delays this Arctic boundary, or the placement of it is different, but it is a pretty significant low pressure that tracks along the Ohio Valley. All rain with this first system as we're getting into your Tuesday into Tuesday evening. Impactful winter weather for Wisconsin, the northern areas of Michigan. This moves on through. Heavy rain, severe weather threat down here. We'll keep this trucking on through. Arctic boundary continues to sag south, and here's that sleet, freezing rain showing up for areas of Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas. The Canadian model wants to put an impactful winter weather event for areas much further south, near all the way down to Austin, Texas. I don't know why I said Texas twice. Dallas, Texas, Arkansas, and is a long duration event that lasts from Tuesday all the way to Friday. And this would be a very significant winter storm for areas of the Ohio Valley into the Northeast. But where's that low pressure track? We're just not quite sure. So let's dive a little bit closer into the European model here. Going forward here, here it goes. It starts off, and we're going to take a look at the South Central U.S. and the Ohio Valley, then the Northeast. If we're looking at the European model, this is for Wednesday afternoon or late morning Wednesday into your lunchtime frame. First area develops here off this Arctic boundary. This is all ice for areas just north of Dallas, Texas. All freezing rain for areas of Oklahoma City. Just north and northwest of Oklahoma City is maybe more sleet or snow. This first wave moves through. This gives areas of southern Missouri, the Ozarks of Arkansas, a nasty quick icing event. This moves through, becomes an impactful event for areas like St. Louis, southern Illinois. Ice and snow and sleet mix, just a wintry mess. That moves on through. Another area of moisture develops off this boundary. Does the cold air sag, or is it just stalled? For me, it looks like it's stalled. It's stalled Arctic boundary. So therefore, more freezing rain in the same areas as you're getting into your Thursday and Thursday afternoon time frame. This moves on through, and then it's over by the time you're getting into your Thursday evening for most of the South Central U.S. Now, you take a look at how much freezing rain showing up in this region. You can go on and cut these totals probably 60 or 70%. The European is overdone. This is just predicted accumulated freezing rain in general, so it's not like surface freezing rain. It doesn't account for any melting that will occur in these areas, especially with all this warm air that's going to be in place before the Arctic front moves through. But this is just giving you an idea that there's going to be some freezing rain in this area. As far as snowfall totals for the same area, nothing too crazy, but maybe a small area of accumulating snow for areas of Oklahoma. Getting into, it looks pretty impactful for areas like St. Louis. It gives Kansas City a few inches of snow. So we'll have to watch this. We'll move a little further northeast at what this system looks like. Moving through here in time. Let me make sure we're in the same time. Okay, yeah, we're good. So we're getting into Monday. Arctic boundary sags south. This first event affects areas like Wisconsin, Minneapolis, Minnesota in general, areas of kind of central to northern Michigan as you're getting into overnight Monday into Tuesday morning. This first system can be pretty impactful for these areas to the north. The Dakotas, especially South Dakota, could get some heavy snow off this, but it's all rain for the Ohio Valley as we're getting into Tuesday morning. This low pressure track is obviously not favorable for areas like Chicago and then the Ohio Valley, but it is favorable for areas of severe weather for these areas down here as it kind of advects moist air into the eastern U.S. and the Gulf states down here, and then flooding down here in Kentucky, maybe the southern Ohio Valley areas in the mid-south will definitely be a risk there. So this moves on through. Like I said, heavy snow in northern Michigan, Wisconsin. And then here comes our next system. This has the chance, and this is the first wave. Here comes, look at this snow getting very close to Chicago. Look at this freezing rain boundary setting up all the way from Texas through Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, areas of Ohio, even northern Kentucky. And then it's just the Arctic boundary, but low pressures just pretty much ride this boundary. And then here comes another system. Freezing rain showing up here. It actually looks a little warmer with this system. So I have to see what happens here, but there is a wintry mess and a lot of heavy rain south into the warmer air showing up here. This is not only going to be an impactful event, it's going to be long duration also. And this is getting into your Friday morning, and finally it moves on out. But this will last through Tuesday through Friday morning, potentially for a lot of areas. As far as how much ice is showing, well, look at this thin line of potential ice storm criteria ice. And remember, cut these, 60 to 70% probably. But even ice showing up here with the first system as that Arctic air is moving south. But this is some nasty ice total showing up as far as snow. A decent snow event, nothing too crazy, but several inches in certain areas, maybe a few inches in Chicago. But, don't get so lost in the specifics here. We're definitely not the range where we can be specific with anything. As far as this system for areas of the Northeast moving here in time, here comes that, obviously, those snow squalls that move through. And here comes the system as we're getting into Tuesday morning. First system moves through, all rain for the Northeast. Wednesday morning, getting into Wednesday afternoon. Now we're getting into Thursday morning. Much colder air in place. You have ice showing up for Maryland, southern Pennsylvania, snow further north. All snow showing up for areas of New York City. This first system gets kind of strung out. It weakens. Then here comes the stronger system, but it's much more amped up. Therefore, you start off as nasty freezing rain for a lot of folks. As you're getting into your Friday morning, but heavy snow, a heavy thump of snow ahead of this for like Boston, and then it might go all to rain. So nothing is set in stone on what we're looking at here. Absolutely nothing. As far as potential ice, remember, cut these in half by 60 or 70%. But it's showing the risk of ice in general for the Northeast as we get into the latter part of next work week. So snow for these areas has the potential to be much more snow in these areas. This could be a big snow event for basically the interior Northeast, but also areas of the coastal Northeast like Boston. You got to watch out here. Flooding threat is a big risk. This is basically rain predictions off the European ensembles. This is through Saturday evening. Several inches of snow is possible, but 3 to 4 inches of snow. 3 to 4 inches of rain for areas of the mid-south, deep south. 3 to 4 inches, anywhere. Try to figure out where you are. Definitely know where you are. That I wasn't being smart, guys, I promise. Know where you are on the map, but in Tennessee, 3 to 4 inches of rain. Kentucky, the same thing. Areas in Mississippi, the same thing. A lot of rain. The flooding risk will be kind of the thing that people don't talk about the most, but will definitely be a risk. It's going to be hit the same areas that got a lot of flooding a few days ago with the last event. Then with the severe weather threat, it's not a whole lot to mention with this yet. But what I can tell you is this is for Monday afternoon. Low-level jet will be anywhere from 40 to 50 knots. So you have that low-level wind energy, that kinematics that we talked about a couple days ago. So you're going to have some wind energy. It's not going to even be as close as robust as a few days ago. But you also have those dew points. And let me see if I can get it real quick without, lagging for 3 years here. You're going to have that moist air. So you're going to have these dew points in place along with the kinematics. So thermodynamics, you're going to have a moist sector that builds into Arkansas, dew points reaching well into the 60s, maybe some 70s deep down here in Louisiana. But obviously, all the things you look at is you look for the thermodynamics, which is surface temperatures, the convective energy CAPE, dew points, and you see where those are maximized compared with the kinematics. are maximized, which is your wind energy, your wind profiles. What does the winds look aloft? How much spin is there in the atmosphere, directional shear? So wherever those are maximized or the highest at the same place, wherever the thermodynamics are highest, think of them as overlapping. So that's going to probably occur in areas of Arkansas where you have the stronger wind profiles and then also this moist air in place. So that's where you're going to have that severe weather right here. So as usual, once I get about 15-20 minutes deep into these videos, I start to get sloppy with the way that I explain things. So time to wrap this up. I'll get much more detailed tonight. I feel like I went too detailed this morning, but that's all I got, guys. Y'all have a blessed day and have a great start to your weekend.